Hello and welcome back to Dusk Hobbies. This will be my first build video and my third video documenting my journey into sprue minis overall. Before I begin, I'd like to thank the people who have been watching. This video was mainly a way for me to really document my hobby journey. I wasn't expecting anyone to actually watch the videos, so for those of you who are here, sharing, commenting, and have already subscribed, from the bottom of my heart, really, thank you very much. On another note, the Dungeons & Lasers 6 Caves Gamefound campaign has officially closed as of a few hours ago. They raised over $2 million, and personally, I cannot wait to get my hands on my pledge. If you missed out, they might have some late backer stuff later, so if you get a chance, I highly recommend jumping on it, as the quality and the paint jobs in the Prismacast just looks amazing. I thought about it for a while and what I wanted to build first, quite frankly. There's so many awesome sculpts here that I just could not decide. That's why it's been a few days since my last upload. I had to sit down and really think about it, and given that this is for my next campaign, I decided to concentrate on what I perceive my players are most likely to come across first, and then build faction by faction. So this means today I'm going to go by Royal Guards. As mentioned previously, I've already gone ahead and built one. I don't think I've shown him off before, but sorry if the lighting's a little bit off. I do need to get myself a backlight. But there is quite a bit of detail reflected in the open window there. You can see a lot of the sculpt. The way the light catches all of that, it's absolutely amazing. Keep in mind, this is what we're dealing with sprue minis, and this is what we're getting with the Nolz's unpainted line. Like even just the details on the boots, look how clear and crisp that is compared to this. Okay, well, I'll get this unboxed and get the sprues out and we'll get to it. All right, so as I mentioned previously, I've already built one of our Royal Guards. Show him off again. So this time I'm going to look at a different type of Royal Guard. I'm going to look at base 2. So base 1, whenever I'm building base 1, will have the same pose as this guy. Whenever I'm doing base 2, it'll have the same pose as the one that I'm building now. It is a little bit more difficult than what I thought to build on camera, but I've identified where the pieces are. And yeah, we're going to cut them out, shape them, cut off any excess and whatnot, clean them up, and then use good old Tamiya extra thin cement to glue them together. So let's get cracking. All right. So first one, we have F1. Then we're going for F2, which is all the way over here. So F2, and that will form the main body. They will go together like this. It's a bit hard to hold without having it glued, but yeah. We now need E8, I believe, which is this one up here, where my thumb is. Trying to be very careful. I've never really done anything like this on camera before. E8, now I believe it was the weapon, which is down here, the other arm. As I mentioned in one of my previous videos, the arms are actually somewhat interchangeable. If you hear a dog barking, that's just my dog Saber. She likes to play with her rope outside. And we are also going to need this head right here, where my thumb is, where my finger is. Being very careful not to cut off any of the parts that we actually need in the final model. So here we have our main pieces. So we have front and back. We have, I believe it is this shoulder blade, or this shoulder, I should say. Followed by the arm, and of course the head that's going to go on top. So it will end up looking something like that. Okay. Now to clean them up. Usually for cleanup I like to use a hobby knife. And just cut off all of these little pieces here. Like on the foot there, leg there, etc. So that's already getting a little more flat and closer to the ground. Just going off bit by bit by bit. Being extra careful. And yeah. So I'll get these cleaned up and then we will put them together. So now that all the pieces have been cut out and we've cleaned them up, it is time to stick them together, and I'm going to be using my Tamiya extra thin cement to do so. So we're just going to put it on the side here. Make sure we've got a decent amount on all the contact points. And then we're going to clamp them together like so. And voila. I personally like to run a little extra bit of cement just in here to make sure that there's a good bond up the top. As I mentioned before, from my understanding is that the Tamiya actually melts the plastic together so that it forms one piece. A lot of people usually in Gunpla use it to get rid of the seam lines. And yeah, so that's that part. Next we're going to be looking at the shoulder. The shoulder is going to lock in like that. Okay, oh, even just touching that, it's already starting to get sticky and melt in because I'll have that little bit of excess. So we're going to put that there. And we're going to force that in, put a bit more pressure. There we go. And then finally this one will lock into place there. It has two contact points, the shoulder of course, and that part of the forearm. Just still can't get over the detail on these weapons and armor. Trying also very hard not to get the liquid cement everywhere. So putting a bit of pressure there where it would connect to the elbow, and pressure on the shoulder, and as you can see it's coming together pretty well. Still thinking of a colour scheme for these guys. Sure, I will get there eventually. Here we have the helmet. Bit hard to see. Going like that. Alright. And there we go, just dropping that into the centre there. And there we have it. There's our mini.